Hello, 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 and welcome back to another edition of Fan Talk, your favorite podcast by your favorite fan. That is me, of course, Kyle Brinsley, in the house on this very overcast Thursday. Now, this is great. For those of you who don't know, those of you who are new, welcome to the show. This is a podcast you can find anywhere you get your podcast. We talk sports from our perspective. We, the fans, have a voice. It's very overcast outside, and where I'm from is I live in the desert. I live in Utah, high altitude desert. It doesn't rain that much, especially in the summer. So it rained a little bit today. I think it's supposed to rain a little more this weekend. So I love an overcast day. I'm all for it. I'm all for today's episode. It's going to be great. Again, we're talking more college football. The season starts in 2 days, so I'll be previewing what games you should be watching this weekend in college football. I'll introduce you to a little game that you can play, see if you can beat me in ESPN's College Pick'em College Edition, as well as NFL, and then I will give you a couple more players to draft in your NFL Fantasy Football League if you haven't done so already. This and more here on Fan Talk. Again, this is a podcast you can get anywhere you get your podcast. I also upload on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's jump right in to some college football fun. We got the Fan Talk sign. We got a candle burning this week. Incredible. It's fall is not quite here, but we're getting there. We got the Rogue One posters, and we are ready to go. So let's start off with this little game that I played last year. If you remember, and if you don't, this is what I did. ESPN has these little fantasy games outside of regular fantasy football. They're called ESPN Pigskin Pick'em, kind of a mouthful. They also have a college version called ESPN College Pick'em. Now, last year I just did the NFL one. I made a little group. You can compete against others to see who is the best at picking the matchups each week. So honestly, there's a matchup. You just pick who you think is going to win, and you get a point for being right, 0 points for being wrong. So I did that last year. I absolutely obliterated everyone. No one was able to stop me. So this year I am upping the stakes. We're doing college as well as NFL. And if you would like to join, if you think I can beat this sucker, who is this guy sitting in his studio telling me that he knows football better than me? He knows ball better than me. I can prove him wrong. All right, let's do it. Let's prove me wrong. Come join my group and let's see if you can outpick me in college and NFL. Let's start with college. I'll show you how to sign up. I will link it down below in the description if you are interested. But here it is. Our group will be called the Fan Talk Podcast Fun Group, College Edition. So I will share the link, and all you need to do is go through and pick who will win each matchup. Simple? Very simple. You just click one, you click one, you click one, you pick a winner, and you see who gets the most correct. So again, go over here to group. It will be the Fan Talk Podcast Fun Group College Edition. I will link it down below in the description. Join and see if you can pick more correct picks than me. It should be super fun. You can win up to $100,000 if you're one of the best across the nation. And last year in the NFL Pick'em, I was up to 38th or 27th, something like that, something crazy, like 27th or 38th in the entire world. It was awesome. I kind of dropped off at the end, but it should be fun. So I'll link that down below for the College Pick'em group. I'll link the NFL one in another episode upcoming, perhaps next week's episode, just so you're not confused. But look out for that and see if you can outpick me in ESPN College Pick'em. All right, sticking with college football. This is a little segment I did last year. What games you should be watching this weekend in college football? Well, it's pretty easy. College football starts in 2 days. Like I said, I'm filming this on Thursday. College football officially starts on Saturday with week 0, as they call it. There's only, 5 games. So I'm going to recommend you watch all 5 games. They're spread out, so you can literally watch all of them at the same time. If you get YouTube TV, which I am a big proponent of, you can watch multiple games at the same time. Great for March Madness, great for college football, great for NFL. You get the multi-view action going on. get YouTube TV. You can watch all these games at the same time. But here are 5 games, all 5 games, that you should be watching this week in college football. First and foremost, we have a ranked matchup, which doesn't always happen in week 0 of college football. A ranked matchup, we got to go across the pond to Dublin, Ireland, to watch Iowa State and Kansas State. This is a college football classic. They did it last year. It was super cool, actually. Should be really fun. Big 12 matchup. Both teams are ranked on ESPN, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Watch this game. This should be a great kickoff to the college football season. The next game, UNLV and Idaho State. Not quite the fireworks of the first game, but hey, I have some Idaho State gear. I used to date a girl from Pocatello, where Idaho State is from, so I have a hat and a sweatshirt. So go Bengals, I guess. But that's another game you should be watching. Kansas, Fresno State. Kansas had a sort of interesting year last year. They're sort of a fun team to watch. Could be an interesting game. It's just college football. It doesn't matter. They're playing Fresno State. Western Kentucky and Sam Houston. Oh boy, a little Conference USA action. That's one you should be watching as well. And then the last one, big tap off the night, live from Honolulu, Hawaii. Stanford and Hawaii face off on CBS as your primetime game. There you go. All 5 games. Watch them. Week 0 of college football. Yes, I understand there's probably only one good game on here on paper, but it's college football. We've waited, 7 months for this? It don't matter. I'm going to be watching all 5 games. It's going to be awesome, and you should as well. And then we have a baller week 1 going into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We have games on all of those days. Next week's episode, I'll be breaking those down and telling you which games to be watching, which games I'm most excited for, and it should be awesome. Again, I mentioned last week, claim your team before the season starts. University of Oklahoma, Boomer Sooner. That is my team. I also root for Utah State. That is my alumni. That's where I went to school. So I got to love them. So claim your teams down below so there's no bandwagoners up in here. All right, let's shift our focus from college to NFL for just one moment. This is the 3rd week I've been doing this little series on who to draft in fantasy football because it can be hard. It can be hard. There's a lot of resources out there. There's a lot of people who are telling you what to do. But if you're not quite as fanatic or an avid fan and you're just playing because your work is doing it, your family's doing it, your boyfriend's friends are doing it and they needed an extra person, whatever it is, and you're probably wondering, who should I draft? So go check out my last 2 videos. I give you some really good tips on who to draft. Today, I'll tell you which quarterback you should be drafting and when. Quarterback, obviously a very important part to an NFL team, very important to fantasy football as well, but not necessarily your first pick. I'd recommend that you wait a couple rounds before you pick a quarterback. If you do want to pick a quarterback very soon, here's the quarterbacks that you should pick and when to do it. So I say you save this until your 3rd pick, so your 3rd round of the draft, maybe 4th, depending on what players are available. Every draft is different, but these are the only quarterbacks you should be considering to take this early in the 3rd round. Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow. Those are the only 4 quarterbacks that you should consider taking in the 3rd, 4th round. All the other ones, they'll still be available unless you have some psychotic people drafting, going crazy. Any well-versed fantasy football player, any person who knows NFL football won't be drafting a guy like Dak Prescott or Kyler Murray or Justin Fields this early. You can get those guys later on. Focus on getting wide receivers who score a lot of touchdowns, running backs who get a lot of touchdowns as well. You want points, and points come from touchdowns. You want guys who will score touchdowns. So these skilled players like wide receivers, running backs, maybe a tight end who get a lot of receptions and score touchdowns, those are the guys that you want in your team. Quarterbacks, of course, get points for touchdowns, but it's a little less. They only get 4 points for a touchdown instead of 6, in most leagues, at least through ESPN. So again, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. Maybe Jaden Daniels. It's only his 2nd year. You could probably still get Jaden Daniels like in the 5th round. If you really wanted to draft him, I'd wait on him, honestly. Same with like a Baker Mayfield or Kyler Murray. I'd wait on those guys, 5th, 6th round. But it's up to you. But again, wait, be patient. Quarterback, obviously an important position, but just be patient. Wait till the third round at most, but probably fourth round to draft these guys: Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow. All right, that was your fantasy football tip. And that is this week's episode. We're keeping it short and sweet because next week it might be a little heavy because we're going to be talking so much college football. We're going to be talking what games you should be watching. I'll give you some more fantasy football tips, and it should be great. Again, claim your team down below in the comments. Join the college football pick'em. I'll link it down in the description. Leave a like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your dog, tell your grandma, tell your girlfriend that you love Fan Talk. And we'll see you guys next week for another awesome edition of Fan Talk.